The warning reached the Allied Star Councils far too late. But in truth, no warning would have changed what followed, because the invaders had already made their decision long before any diplomatic channel could react. They were called the Coral Dominion, a species reputed for precision, order, and a confidence so immense it bordered on arrogance. For centuries they had expanded across clusters like a tide of steel and flame. They prided themselves on subjugating worlds without losing a single vessel. They believed no society could match their discipline. No culture could withstand their swiftness. No species could repel a sudden strike led by their elite fleet. Their record said so. Their admirals said so. Their history celebrated it. So when their scouts detected a solitary blue world whose defenses appeared oddly quiet, whose transmissions were fragmented, and whose diplomatic footprint was inconsistent, the Dominion concluded that it was the perfect target for a rapid takeover. Their analysts saw no unified planetary military. Their historians recorded no interstellar empire. Their data archives found no species matching the local name of humans. As they reviewed their invasion plans, one officer in particular asked whether they should verify the world's actual strategic classification. His superior dismissed it. It did not matter whether the planet had a designation or not. A quiet world was a weak world. The Dominion struck at dawn, according to the planet's rotational cycle. 30 capital ships pierced the sky like shards of midnight. They broke past orbital debris and inactive satellites with theatrical ease. They expected a minor defense fleet at most. Instead, they found nothing. Not a single interceptor. Not a single orbital cannon. Nothing that resembled resistance. The fleet commander smirked with confidence as he ordered the descent pattern. According to his calculations, the only real challenge would be atmospheric turbulence. He declared victory before the first troop carrier reached the clouds. On the surface, the early morning sky brightened not with sunlight, but with sharp vertical streaks. People across continents looked upward in confusion. Most assumed it was another meteor shower. Others thought it was a launch test for one nation or another. Those who knew better froze in place as alarms began to blare. In a command center hidden beneath a mountain range, a woman named Mara stood in front of a massive holographic globe. Her expression remained calm, though the map around her flashed with impact markers. She was a coordinator for Earth's Defense Coalition, a group that had long operated in secrecy. Few citizens even knew it existed. Many believed the coalition to be an abandoned relic. In truth, it had been active for decades. Humanity had learned the hard way that the universe was not empty. They had intercepted signals from distant conflicts, rogue transmissions from dying worlds, and coded warnings from civilizations that had fallen long before humans built their first modern city. They learned that the quiet of the galaxy was not peace. It was fear. They prepared accordingly. What the Dominion found to be silence was actually deliberate concealment. What they interpreted as weakness was strategic deception. Mara reached forward and tapped a glowing panel. A calm voice announced that unidentified craft were breaching the upper atmosphere. She asked for confirmation. The operator answered that 30 warships were entering controlled fall patterns. Mara nodded. She contacted the Coalition's Global Command Relay. She requested activation authorization for Protocol Iron Shield. The relay granted approval. Across the world, countless dormant systems awakened. Dense grids within the planet's mantle powered on. Stealthed platforms rose from oceans. Orbital mines uncloaked. Defense arrays locked onto targets. The Dominion had no idea that Earth had spent nearly a century building the largest covert planetary defense network in the known galaxy. Humanity had no interest in starting interstellar wars, but they had sworn that no one would ever take Earth by surprise. Not again, after the first contact disaster decades earlier, when a rogue alien vessel had razed a coastal city before self-destructing. Humans vowed to never be prey. As the Dominion troop carriers descended, they detected sudden energy fluctuations. Their sensors blared with warnings. Turret arrays disguised as geological formations rose from the ground. Mara issued the first global command. All defense nodes engaged simultaneously. A lattice of invisible beams sliced through the sky. The first Dominion carrier disintegrated mid-air. The second spiraled into a mountain range. The fleet commander stared at the sudden loss with disbelief. His displays updated with threat indicators. He ordered countermeasures. He demanded telemetry. Everything came back corrupted. Earth's Electronic Warfare Division had hijacked their communications. They had studied Dominion technology for years through intercepted fragments from distant battles. They knew every weakness. The invaders launched drones expecting them to overwhelm surface defenses. Mara smiled faintly as swarms of human interceptors erupted from camouflaged silos. These interceptors were not large. They were agile, shaped like triangular shards, guided by advanced predictive algorithms born from decades of simulation. They shredded the Dominion drones before they gained formation. Across continents, civilians watched the spectacle in confusion and awe. Governments scrambled to issue evacuation orders, only to discover the coalition already escorting citizens to shelters. Humanity's defensive infrastructure operated with clockwork precision. The Dominion shifted tactics. Their battleships descended directly, preparing annihilation strikes. The fleet commander authorized full bombardment. But before the ships fired their cannons, the atmosphere flickered. Strings of bright electromagnetic threads webbed around their hulls. Earth's ion traps locked the vessels in place. The Dominion had never encountered such technology. They struggled to break free. They failed. One ship fell into the ocean. Another burst into flames as its reactor destabilized. Mara's voice carried through command channels. She ordered activation of the Aegis platforms. High above the atmosphere, Earth's true defense revealed itself. Thousands of hidden satellites shimmered into visibility. They reoriented like a school of coordinated predators. They unleashed perfectly synchronized energy bursts that tore through the Dominion formation. The fleet commander finally realized the truth. Earth was not a quiet world. Earth was not defenseless. Earth was not ignorant of galactic threats. Earth was prepared. He attempted to retreat. His flagship veered upward. But humanity had anticipated that too. In orbit, a massive structure uncloaked. It resembled a ring made of overlapping plates. It was an experimental gravity anchor designed to prevent enemy escape. It seized the flagship in a gravitational tether. Dominion officers panicked. They tried to override engines. Nothing responded. The gravitational tether crushed the flagship's propulsion core. The resulting shockwave echoed across orbit, but the anchor absorbed most of the impact. Mara monitored each event in silence. She had no desire to exterminate anyone. But Earth would not kneel. The Dominion had initiated an attack without provocation. Humanity answered with precision. Still, the coalition needed a final move. The Dominion fleet was crippled, but not destroyed. Mara activated Channel 6 and called for Captain Leo. He was stationed in a high-altitude interceptor station. Leo responded with steady composure. He had trained his entire adult life for the possibility of defending Earth. His squadron launched within seconds. Their ships were sleek metallic arrows shaped to maneuver at extreme speeds. They ascended past clouds. They accelerated using engines tuned to the edge of atmospheric physics. They breached the upper boundary and saw the broken Dominion fleet ahead. Leo led 24 pilots. They locked on to remaining invader ships and executed strike patterns that no Dominion AI could predict. They pierced hulls precisely where structural weaknesses lay. They disabled reactors without causing planetary danger. One by one, the Dominion vessels drifted powerless. The fleet commander knew they could not win. His pride shattered under the weight of undeniable defeat. He transmitted a distress signal. Too late. Earth already had control of the battle space. At ground level, survivors among the invading troops gathered for extraction. They expected human soldiers to eliminate them on sight. Instead, they found themselves surrounded by armored units that spoke through translators. The humans instructed them to lay down arms. The troops complied quickly. They were soon escorted to containment zones that operated under strict but humane protocols. The troops saw that Earth refused to behave like the violent primitives their leaders had described. They saw discipline. They saw order. They saw mercy. Back in orbit, Mara studied the captured Dominion ship logs. She discovered that the invaders had considered Earth insignificant. They had launched the attack without checking the planet's official galactic classification. They had completely ignored warnings from neighboring civilizations that humanity was not to be provoked. The Dominion had attacked blindly. The galaxy had long avoided antagonizing humans for good reason. Humanity was peaceful until pushed. When threatened, they became something entirely different. The Dominion had now learned that lesson firsthand. Global leaders convened within an underground chamber. Representatives from every major region listened as Mara delivered her report. She explained how the Dominion had underestimated Earth. She explained that humanity had successful,